Hello, you lovelies. Should be live now. Just we make sure everything is running nice and smoothly. Yeah, all right. So tonight's live stream is all about the upcoming week, 28 up until the 4th of December. And before we move to the readings for the star signs, let's just do the collective one. And if you had paid attention to the thumbnail, you would have saw 4 cards there. They were as follow: 3 of swords, the first one. The second card from the thumbnail, it is the Ace of Pentacles. And these two that are coming up first, kind of showing that the week is going to be a bit difficult. Jasmine, I don't know. You don't have anything to apologize for. I don't even remember. So don't worry about it. Don't apologize. I don't even remember. Probably it was about me asking you some kind of a follow-up question to your super chat reading. Was that what all was about? Hello guys, everybody who is joining in. So as I was saying, it's gonna be a bit of a difficult week just by the first couple of cards that are happening. Then the follow-up that we do have, it is the Two of Pentacles. Thank you, Vero. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it. And the final one, that is going to be the World. So why the week is gonna be difficult? Well, not just only we do have the Three of Swords showing up as the prime card of the reading, which is the first one, but also we do have the Ace of Pentacles on a position that it is dedicated for what is holding us down. And in that particular case, the Ace of Pentacles kind of shows that that is a week where that is optional though, all right? That is a week where we should very carefully think how we are to proceed with our stuff, especially with the stuff that we have planned for a very, very long time. Because alongside with the Three of Swords, it kind of speaks that unfortunately those plans, that is to say the least, are not gonna work out well the way we have anticipated. Oh yeah, well, no, that's all right. I mean, I don't expect you guys to know perfectly how to phrase your question. And I probably said that, Jasmine, because there were more to them. Okay, there were more to them that it would have swayed you on one path or another. I don't even remember what was all about. If you can tell me what was the question and what was the cards, that would kind of like shine a light. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for 1999. Thank you. So let me put you into the list, and as you know, you're gonna have a personalized reading for the week at the end of the stream. Hello, Sandra, and as well Liz, that are joining. So things are not going to work out with our plans the way we have anticipated. At the very least, it will be like we are making one step of a progress, and then we'll have to backtrack a couple of steps because things are not going exactly our way. Three of Swords, it is one of the cards which, especially on a mental level, is kind of putting us, putting doubts. Are we capable of doing it, so to speak? Are we good enough? Phrased in another word, in another words, and also it kind of puts a sharp tongues into people's mouths, and therefore throughout the week it's highly likely that we are to be, I can't say really insulted by people around us, but definitely there will be a mental cruelty out there. Mental cruelty, I mean a criticism without being particularly constructive criticism, okay? It is something like you suck in this without telling you why you suck in this, you know? And it's kind of like it puts you down and it kicks you while you are down as well. So we should be very careful what kind of assessment we should trust, especially if it is people that we very seldom, or rather like we very not seldom is not the word, well, let's say seldom communicate with, and we know very little of as well. Oh yeah, now I know. Now I know why I said that. Michelle, thank you so much for 11 US dollars. Thank you, Michelle. Make sure you stay up until the end, where I'm gonna do a personal reading on your inquiry. I said that because of the moon going into the second position. Because the moon, wherever it comes into a reading, it says that it's a path you are on no matter what, okay? But if I tell you what the path is all about, then it will look like I have made a choice. I remember everything about that kind of like interaction in between us. Well, then the tarot is aligned with the astrology Pisces moonbeam. I don't know what to say other than that. Other point where we have to be very careful with the week, it is the world being at the end of the reading. So what that really means, it is that whatever we set up that week for, it's happening, all right? It's just we cannot pull off it. So should we make enemies throughout the week, those enemies are going to be there to stay. Same thing kind of like affects friendships as well, projects, you know, love potentials, etc, etc. And we're going to have a lot to choose from, which is indicated by the Two of Pentacles. But what is the option? What are exactly the options available dedicated by the Two of Pentacles? You got to understand, guys, that there are tarot boils down to few things at the end of the day. That is change, endings, options available, paths, and few others. But you do have 78 cards. And for example, Death card, if you will, Judgment, Page of Cups, the Tower, they all say change is coming about. If you will, all the aces as well say that change is coming about. It is because they are a new things, right? And new things bring change. The thing is the circumstances. They all happen under different circumstances. For example, the Death card, something dies away. You know, you have nothing to gain from it anymore. It's one monotonous repeat of one thing all the time. So you just have to change it with something that is more efficient, that it is that has growth in it, right? the tower card change, it is a change you have no control over. It is just, it comes about, destroys something you have, and kind of like it makes you replace it with something else, and so on and so forth. So the options available with the Two of Pentacles, it is when a person, you or whomever that reading applies to, now starts to understand that their concepts, and how can I put it into words, view over their situations, it's a bit outdated, and starts to adjust their view and concept to the new form of the situation they are. No different than you do realize that, you know, for example, I don't know, I'm talking off the top of my mind, but the country music is not as popular as once were, right? So you gotta align to that. You gotta align to that. Not in every club you are gonna hear country music. So if you do want to go partying out with friends, you gotta align to a new music as well, right? So this is changing concepts, and that is something we all can do. So we can so we can be more open to a versatile options available in front of us. Different friends, different job offers, you know, it's different avenue of interactions with people around us, and so on and so forth. And once we do kind of like discover these, let's say, different ways, not necessarily new ways, but different ways, then they're going to be there with us to stay. So it's a perfect week to, for example, browse for new hobbies, browse for new friends, you know, research new venues to supplement our monetary income, and so on and so forth. But it is also important to believe in ourselves, and if someone tells us that we cannot do it, we should double check it instead of believing that person. Also, one more thing which will be very very common amongst all of us, it is that most of the situations that we're going to face throughout the week, they are going to resemble failures, like similar situations that we had failed before. Very quick example, it is that, say we kind of like start falling in love with someone that we are to meet throughout the week, but that person, their behavior, you know, their interest, and so on and so forth, kind of like very much resemble another one that we were in a relationship with, that things ended up very, very badly. And our first impression, you know, our bias, so to speak, is going to be that things are not going to work out. Well, screw the bias. You know, that was in the past and we had improved. So probably this time we can handle it. My point is that we should not allow the thoughts of failure, negative thoughts, to twist and tangle in our minds, not allowing us to browse and explore all of our options available. Sam, thank you so much for your $2.99 Australian. Thank you, Sam. But I probably Jasmine, told you that that's not your soulmate. And I stand by my words. I told you that you know your soulmate, but that's not your soulmate. That's probably what I told you. All right, so that was the collective reading, and now Jasmine, you never know. I mean, this is how it can turn out. That could be a person that you haven't got in touch with for a very long time, 5, 10 years, you know. So there is always someone, you know, that that doesn't cross your mind at that particular point. And I also want to put your attention into the fact that we do have more than one. Okay, so in the spirit of your question, the card said that you know a soulmate of yours. You already know a soulmate of yours, which is not your current one, but they don't say that you know all of your soulmates. Okay. Mattia, thank you so much for your $20 super chat. Or rather like a PayPal donation. Thank you, Mattia. Make sure that you also stay up until the end, where you're gonna have your personalized reading for the week. Let me put you into the list. All right, so Aries, but before we go to Aries, just a few notes about the show, guys. So in this show, I'm going to read for the 12 star signs using the very same spread I just did for the collective reading. Starting up from Aries, ending up with Pisces, there are also going to be 3 free readings given throughout the duration of the whole live stream. Now, the first free reading you are going to have a chance to claim after Cancer is done, the second after Scorpio, and the third one is going to be after Pisces. So how do you claim a free reading? Well, when I'm done with one of those 3 star signs, I'm going to give a 5 minutes so you guys can ask a question that you want me to read for with tarot cards. And after those 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one of your questions and I'm going to perform a professional reading on the question itself. Other than that, anyone who supports the stream and the channel, me and Pisces Moonbeam as well, through Super Chat, that is with 1 Super Chat you support all that, you are going to have a reading at the end of the stream that is pretty much guaranteed. And finally, if you do wish to have a personal reading with me, you can always go to my website, which link you're going to find in the description down below. And there at the very front page, you're going to see a full list of my services and also their pricing. So based on your budget and also your needs, you can go for whichever one suits you best. I don't think that Pisces Moonbeam is into soccer. That is how Americans call it, and Canadian, soccer. All right, Aries goes first. Let's see what you guys have. All right, first card, that's going to be the Star. Following up with the second card, which is the Ace of Swords. Moving on, next we do have the World. And the final one, that's going to be the Magician. So it's a big week for Aries. That is, unlike the collective reading, probably Aries is going to be least affected by it. Those cards into their spread are saying that for Aries, a lot of problems are going to be whether solved or whether these problems are going to simply disappear. And from there on moving forward, you guys who are Aries Sun or Aries Rising, you can now feel free to pretty much explore your future. What I mean is that you're going to have a clear view of how far you can go and also how much you can accomplish. Therefore, you can pretty much adjust the ideals and the standards that you do have based on what opportunities are lying ahead. But you're going to be pretty aware. You're going to be made to know what the opportunities pretty much are. So if you are feeling right now a little bit lost, if you don't know what you are supposed to do with one situation or another, that's going to be pretty clear going forward next week. Okay, now the problem it is that's the problem, actually, too much of an information, right? And it's going to go to such an extent that people are going to start telling you things that you simply don't care about. They are going to be true, right? They are going to be sensitive, but you don't need to know. You do not need to know who cheated on whom, for example, or who screwed their project at work, and so on and so forth. And it is just this so much of an information kind of may pollute your focus. That is the only problem that we do have. And also sharing up how someone else has failed may also kind of like diminish your, let's say, courageousness. You being courageous, it may diminish that for you to try out something similar as well. Other than that, it's a great week where you can wrap up things around, wrap up your work contract, you know, wrap up your move toward your beloved one, for example, wrap up plans, or simply finalize things like finalizing a home purchase, like finalizing a car purchase, etc., etc. It's just things that are going to be yours, things which are going to be there to stay, at least for quite a while. But this kind of like browsing is going to be just in the time frame of the week. It is because by the end of the week we can see you here having the Magician card, all right? We can see you here being quite effective, for the lack of a better word, into manifesting your options available. That is all that the Magician stands for. And while you are manifesting your options available, meaning growing everywhere, right? That is growing into your career, simultaneously growing into your personal and love life as well, friendship circle, etc., etc. So while you are growing, that is not going to be on an expense of your personal sovereignty. So you're not going to sacrifice your freedom by a mile. And as well, by the end of the week, you're going to find yourself negotiated for yourself a quite chunk of a sweet deals. They don't have to be only about your business. They could be about every single thing. Okay, so it's a pretty productive week for you, Aries. It is just, you know, do the Sherlock Holmes things. When someone tells you needless information, just forget it right there, right then. That is what Sherlock Holmes, character from Agatha Christie, does in the novels. Right, so that was Aries. Now, moving next, we do have Taurus. Veronica, thank you so much for your 14 Canadian. Thank you, Veronica. Make sure that you do stay to the end, where you're going to have your personal reading for the week. What the week has in store for you. All right. So, Taurus. And Liz as well. Thank you, Liz, for your 511 US dollars. You also make sure you stay to the end of the stream, where you're going to get your personal reading for the week. Right, so Taurus, first one, that is going to be 10 of Pentacles. Oh yeah, oh my god, I'm sorry, exactly. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was Sherlock Holmes. Agatha Christie was Hercule Poirot, right? Killings in the Orient Express. I kind of like mix those both. I'm pretty bad with authors When it comes to novels, I can tell you what is going on in it, but authors on the novels, I very seldom remember them. So the second one is going to be the Hierophant. It's the Hierophant. Followed up next, we do have the Knight of Cups. And the final one, that is going to be the Page of Pentacles. Hello, Anna. Welcome to the stream. So for the Knights of Cups, we do have additional card of the Five of Swords. So for you, Taurus, I don't know if you are lucky or not, but these two cards pretty much depict a person who acts in one way with everybody else and in a different way with you. And with you, they do act warmer. So that may be something which you cannot figure out why that's the case. Well, usually the answer is very simple. It is because they have thing for you and they don't have thing for anyone else around. Okay, that thing may not be exactly love, you know, for some it's going to be, for others it's going to be just sympathy, etc., etc. You know, but they definitely do have a thing for you, a soft spot, so to speak. And that person, which is how it comes here, right? So the Knight of Cups with the Five of Swords. That person is going to play to your benefit, or rather, like, they will manifest to your benefit throughout the week. So what kind of a finger they can have into your future? Well, from someone that you can have a peaceful time with, I cannot say really a great time. They are not that much into parties at all. You know, they don't, that type of an individuals, they don't like that active and crazy side of life, so to speak. But from having a peaceful time with them to kind of like moving forward together in a sense of doing what is necessary so results can be produced, right? In that spirit, this could be, for example, a co-worker who is ready to do anything that it is allowed, though not anything they can. That is anything that it is allowed in order to lighten your burden, in order to help you with your deeds. And when we're talking about the deeds, this week is gonna be a difficult one. Having the Hierophant into the second position of the spread, it kind of speaks that the deeds are going to be very restrictive, in a sense of that you are not going to have much room to wriggle yourself into in order to be, for example, creative and to use different levers, so to speak, in order to accomplish a bigger results. So there is going to be a constraint in there, and that is going to be your problem, Taurus. That's it's just your expectations by the end of the week. They are simply not going to be met. That is especially talking about your career. In relationship and love, something more interesting is going to happen there. Others around you, especially people that are loving you, they will look like fools, okay, in your eyes, because their trust is going to be over the top to a point of idiotism. It's like you're going to find yourself sitting in a situations thinking, how can you even, you know, be so negligent into what I am doing? I mean, you can't possibly trust me more than trust yourself, right? But that's how it's going to be. And you are going to be annoyed by it, because it's going to leave you to, for example, make every decision, right? And to, how can I put it into words, to think about everything that needs to be undertaken into the situation, whether marriage or a relationship or anything like that. And while you're going to have your independence and liberty, you know, to make choices, it's pretty much gonna be over the top, you know. It's gonna be overkill, and that is something which, while at the start you may like, as the week progresses, you're not gonna like that much. Nonetheless, by the end of the week, Taurus, things are gonna narrow up in a sense of that. While at the start of the week there are going to be many things for you to attend to, by the end of the week there are going to be couple or just only one, and that one thing is going to be a product, for example, of well signed up deal, is going to be a product of well negotiated terms, right? Is going to be a product of a well established friendship. But whatever the whatever comes up from, or wherever it comes up from, it will be an enterprise that deserves your dedication to its fullest. So what I'm trying to say here is that at the end of the week, you're definitely gonna have something to look forward to in order to grow in and pretty much develop. And also, it's very possible some kind of a friendship to transform as well into a fully healthy, so to speak, a romantic relationship. Moving on next, what we do have, that is Gemini. Yeah, it's you got me. I never knew that there is a show. I'm gonna try to find it. I love those kind of shows. All right, Gemini. First one, it is the Seven of Wands, followed by the Ace of Wands. Next one is going to be the Magician. And the final one, that is going to be the Ace of Cups. So, long story short for you, Gemini, the week is going to be very good for you, personally for you. The problem is that this wellness of your is gonna this wellness that you are gonna experience throughout the week, it's gonna win you adversaries. The first thing that comes to my mind, you will do so well at work that some of your colleagues are gonna start hating you, all right? Or you will do so well, how do you call it in English? I don't know, for the lack of better expression, dating, the some of your friends are gonna start hating you, right? It's just your performance into all you do, it will be over the top. And unfortunately, people are gonna envy you guys. We can see that pretty clearly, with the Seven of Wands being at the very start of the reading. And the worst of all that is that those people who envy you, they're not gonna be obvious, in a sense of the they will haters gonna, this isn't just haters, Anna. These are people who are gonna realize that they can never be as good as you are, right? And that's why they're gonna hate you. Not just only you, but every Gemini. And I guess everybody has those in their lives, right? But you are gonna make up some of those, Gemini, into the upcoming week. So needless to say that best case scenario, that could end up some kind of a partnerships or friendships. Worst case scenario, that is going to be an enemy that you don't know about, that anytime you need to rely on them, they are going to screw you over. Okay, so you do have something like a barrel pointed to your head without realizing it, so to speak. that is as far as relates to the as much as it relates to the surrounding environment from people. Other than that, also the week is gonna be more active, or rather like more dynamic to your liking. There are gonna be so many things that you would wish to explore, but at the end of the day has only 24 hours and the week has only 7 days, right? So not everything you will be able to browse and to explore, and for one or another reason that is going to not just only annoy you. There could be some cases as well that you may find yourself being angry, not having as much time as you need in order to kind of like explore your options available. I need to tell you here, guys, that not every option available is pretty much meant for you to explore. In fact, you should go forward only with those which you know what they are all about, because there are going to be those options available that will look very tempting, because you will know little of, but you're going to have the feeling that you can handle, and therefore is going to be a learning curve in them, right? There is going to be a experience to be gained. But that isn't about you gaining experience. That is about you implying, or how can I put it into words, doing what you do best, okay? And kind of like mesmerizing people with it. That is where you work your magic rather than learning how to do a new magic, if you know what I mean. The advice is to challenge them, Anna. When we do have such a combination of cards, when you see something, or rather like feel something off with a person, you gotta challenge that person. Okay. For example, you tell them how good you did, and instead of getting the normal behavior, you get something off the book. Like, for example, a wry smile, right? Or a scuffle, or whatever. Not scuffle, but grunting or whatever, that it is out of character. You challenge that. You say, well, why did you do that, right? Is there something wrong with all that? And it will become pretty clear what is wrong. And once you do expose the adversary, they're not going to do anything against you, because with those cards, adversaries, they like to, or rather like, yeah, they do like to act behind the scene, like behind the curtain, without you knowing who they are and what they're doing. Usually they work through gossips and rumors, like for example, if that's an adversary to your love life, that's a friend who doesn't like the person you are with, or they want them for themselves. Usually what happens with those cards is that they do start spreading rumors that you are unfaithful, or that your partner is unfaithful. And once you hear about that rumor, you don't wave it away. You challenge it right away. So that is how you handle those. But bottom line here for the week, it is that you should stick to what you know best and go forward with it. Okay, you're given an opportunity that you know little about, you pass on it, at least according to those cards. And by the end of the week, though, there is going to be an impending change coming, in a sense of that, a change of circumstances, which you are gonna freaking love it. I don't know where they're gonna come about. It's gonna be different for each single Gemini, but you're gonna freaking love it, guys, because it's going to transcend your pretty much daily reality. Usually they're happening into the field that you are most miserable at. So if throughout the week you're most miserable at your relationship, there is going to be a reversal there, and by the end of the week your love life is going to be the best thing you ever had. If that's about your career, same thing there. So, but it's not going to happen everywhere. It happens only into one field, and it is the field you are most miserable at. Right, so that was Gemini. Now moving on, next we do have Cancer. By the way, hold on a second, guys. What? No. My God. I have no idea what I did. Anna, thank you so much for your 20 US dollars support. Thank you, Anna. You as well make sure that you stick around by the end of the stream, where you're gonna have your personal reading for the week. By the way, there is a change into YouTube interface. What I mean is that if you do wanna watch a video of the live stream, you're not gonna find it under a video section of the YouTube channel. There is now live section. This is how it's called. It's live. This is where you can find it. That's in case you cannot stay up until the end for your personal reading and you want to watch it later. This is where you find it under the section live. All right, so Cancer now. First one for Cancer, that's going to be the Six of Cups. Followed by the second card, which stands as the Knights of Pentacles. Moving on next, we do have the Ten of Wands. And the final card for Cancer, that is going to be the Nine of Pentacles. So for the Knight of Pentacles, the additional card is going to be the Seven of Cups. That's a daydreamer, right? That is a person who definitely don't know what's going to take. They are capable, but their abilities had beguiled them into a understanding they can do. It's not like they can do more than they can handle. They can do it faster. All right, so that is a person who is prone to take shortcuts to detriment of the quality. Okay, and it is just their preparations suck, right? Their plans are way too simple. Way too simple. It's just into their plans and what they want to do. Half of the things are not simply there. Half of the things are half of the plan. It sounds more like a prayer than a plan, right? And also, that is a person, especially when it comes to personal relationship, that they do overstep quite a lot. And that is, listen, this isn't because they intentionally wants to provoke you or us or whomever. It's just what they are, what they believe, right? That is a person that you are a friend with, but they believe that you are now girlfriend and boyfriend instead of just, casual friend. It is just what they believe. They always believe that they're 3 steps ahead than they actually are. So you gotta be very careful with them and put them where they belong, okay? That is going to be your problem. So that kind of an individual, if you do allow them to kind of like scamper around and do whatever they like with your life, you may find yourself, I don't know, having quite a few things to explain yourself about. Other than that, Cancer, your week should be very busy, but very pleasant. Aside that kind of an individual, it could be your child as well, right? Your child talking things about you that they are actually not true. They are halfway true, but not exactly true. So again, busy week, but also pleasantly busy. And it's going to be pleasantly busy because you are going to know that, yeah, it's kind of like there are a lot of things that you need to do, a lot of things are moving around, but at the end of the day, every single one of them is going to bear fruit. Every single one of them is holding up a reward at the end of it. I don't know if I should say unfortunately here, but by the end of the week, by the end of the week, it seems that you are gonna drop few of them. Now this is gonna be a conscious decision from your behalf, either through the pressure, either through because you will kind of like come up to my conclusion that if you don't enjoy life, then what's the point working in life, right? But bottom line is that by the end of the week, you are gonna differentiate the most, the one that works the most to the one that just are worth it. And you're gonna set aside those who are just worth it, and you're gonna attend to those who are worth the most. And so by the end of the week, whatever your undertakings are, rest assured, Cancer, they will bear a huge rewards. In fact, it could be one of your most successful maneuvers in your life. That could be the case here that we do have. Right, so that was for Cancer. Oh, one thing I forgot. Should you happen to start dating through the week, you should know that that person is one of the ones, right? That's a person that you can definitely go along with for the rest of your life. Same thing about a job. If you happen to start the job throughout the week, you should know that if you wish so, that's a job you can retire into. All right, so that was Cancer, and now one of you guys can have a free reading with me. All that you gotta do to claim it is, or to have a chance to claim it, I should say it correctly, is that you do input your question into the comments down below. I'm gonna give you about 5 minutes to do so. And after those 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one of your questions and I'm going to perform a professional reading on the question itself. So, yeah, I do love those kind of shows. There was that English show, Holmes, or it was called Sherlock. It was really, really good. Shame it ended after the 4th season or something like this. Actually, there are 2 English shows, but one is very short. It's kind of like it's 3 seasons, and you do have only 3 episodes per season. And a very famous actor is playing in it, the one that plays Doctor Strange. When I said someone that plays Doctor Strange, I am so delighted to see that HBO actually made a TV show, one of the best games ever produced, The Last of Us. You don't need to know the game. The show is out on 19th of January. Give it a try, guys. If the show is halfway good as the game, that's going to be one of the best shows ever made. It's great. And the casting looks promising. You know, top of the world actors are gonna play in the show. So I kind of like, I think that they're gonna nail it. In fact, the only producers that haven't screwed up a show, it's HBO. Well, season 8 Game of Thrones, but that wasn't really their fault because they offered 10 episodes for that last season, but the writers of the show said no, 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 66 episodes, it's fine, and it wasn't. Chandra, thank you so much for your $4.99 US. Thank you, Chandra. Make sure that you do stay up until the end, where you're gonna find, or rather, like, where you're gonna have your personal reading for the week. Yeah, I love, like I said, Ed, I do love those kind of shows, crime shows. I don't know why, but I do love shows that there is a law in them. For example, Bull. For example, Suits. The new Netflix show, which is the Lincoln Lawyer. I just love those kind of shows. I just love how lawyers are arguing in the courtroom. That's great. Hmm. I watched that one. I watched that one, Pisces Moonbeam, but the start was good, right? The first couple of seasons was good, and then there were more, and from the third season moving forward, there was more drama and intrigues rather than law. So no, I just stopped it there. But if we are to next Netflix shows, last couple of weeks, I stumbled upon One of Us is Lying. It's a great show. What you should, it's a teen show, and I say, oh my god, it's a teen show. I hate teen shows, but let's give it a go, right? Because it's under a crime section, and it was really good. I was very pleasantly surprised. In fact, I watched it on one go, 24 hours. It's just 2 seasons, and probably there is going to be a third one as well. I will. I will, guys. Thank you so much for your suggestions. All right. I need to address a couple of questions before I move to the one that I picked. So, Teresa, I cannot, tarot cards cannot give you the answer if your son is going to pass the test or not. They can only say if he's going to be satisfied with the results, which is not the same. Colleen, your family getting back together, it's a chance to your family, and tarot cards cannot make choices for people. The best thing I can do is to tell you how you're going to feel about it after the drama resolves, which is not the same thing again. So that leads to two questions. One of them is Michelle's questions, why the coworkers are kind of like don't want to connect with her, and Ed's question, which is being lost into that relationship. I feel like Michelle has more pressing matters because at the end of the day, it's her job. Ed, if that relationship doesn't work for you, just find a new one. But there is going to be another free readings. You can ask your question there if you still want to know the answer. But for now, I think I'm going to take Michelle's question. Those are the cards, Michelle. Let me get the Cancer sign off. All right. So those are the cards. Well, that is the real reason, okay? And this is gonna be a new reason. So, things are not gonna get better anytime soon. The real reason is because, long story short, you're setting on new standards at your work simply because you do your job better. That is no different a department that people, are used to kind of like go along slow. They're not used to do a lot of stuff every single day. Okay, and suddenly a new blood comes around and it is kind of like keeping up the pace so high that they have to actually do their jobs and they don't want to connect. But in the future, very quickly will be known that you are simply better than your coworkers. See, that's the difference between you and the people who don't want to talk with you at work. They are there to get them to get a paycheck at the end of the month or at the end of the week or whatever. You are there to grow. That's the difference, right? You are there to show what you're capable of and to climb the ladder of the hierarchy. These people, they don't care about that. They care about the money they get. They care that they do have a job. Their insurance is moving forward, social insurance, health insurance, etc., etc. And that's what they care for. And you being so headstrong, being productive, it's messing around with with their, I don't want to say work ethics, but kind of like daily routine, let's say it that way. That's why. So you want to connect with your coworkers? Well, I suggest you to start getting lazy. Rocky, hello, and welcome to the stream. Hope you do enjoy the show. All right, guys, that is the first free reading. There are going to be a couple more. Which one is going to be after Scorpio, and the last one is going to be after Pisces. But if you do decide to support the stream and the channel through super chats, you will have a reading at the end of the stream. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your super chat be $20 or above, your reading is going to be that very same format that I'm doing for the star signs, which is a 4-card spread. Nor you should. And Michelle, that is something that I say to everyone who comes to me with a similar problem. Why are you there? Are you there to make money or are you there to make friends? Because if you are there to make friends, you are in the wrong type of job, right? Job is never of making friends. Nicole, thank you so much for your $9.99. Thank you, Nicole. Make sure that you stay up until the end of the stream, but you're gonna have your personal reading for the week. Mm. So that's that. And beside, Michelle, you don't need only one person to like you, and that's your boss. And if you make money for your boss, then you are safe in your work. Doesn't matter who else likes you. All right. Next one. It's gonna be Leo. Yeah. Rocky, thank you so much for your $27.99 Canadian US dollars. Oh my, Canadian dollars. Thank you. As with the rest, if you do stay up until the end of the stream, you're gonna hear your personal reading for the week. If you cannot stay up until the end, well, you can always watch it on a recording as a video. Just make sure that with the new YouTube interface, you go to live section of my channel rather than the video section of the channel. All right. Let's check on Leo now. First one, that's gonna be the Tower, followed by the Sun. Moving on next, Queen of Swords. And the final one, that's gonna be the Ten of Cups. So that's gonna be such a roller coaster. The card accompanying the Queen of Swords, it's Seven of Pentacles. So that's a person who kind of like snaps with fingers, okay, next to your ear, screaming, "What the hell are you waiting for?" Right? What the hell are you waiting for? Because your ship is gonna start sinking big time, especially as the week starts, first couple of days, first 3 days. The very mild way how that could start happening is you do realize at 1 second that, you know, things are not as strong and as certain and as secure as you think they are. Your job may be in jeopardy, right? Your love life may be in jeopardy, or straight away annihilated from a insight, sudden insight, or just, you know, some kind of a circumstances that you totally have no control over. It's just, you know, you go to work and you find that your company bankrupted. What could you do about it, right? Nothing. And you suddenly find yourself having to find another job, or suddenly a client pulled back, and now all the deal or the deal that you worked over for the past 6 months thrown out of the window, right? It is just, should something be broken down or, like I said, annihilated, it was not your fault, definitely not your fault, but that's a cue for you to pretty much grow up, right? Grow yourself to a new heights. That is why the Tower card is happening. Because even if things worked it out, they would have offered you a nothing new, right? Just literally nothing new. And you would have been in a magic circle doing the same thing over and over again, having no growth whatsoever. Now, things doesn't have to be that grim, right? The Tower card could also go forward with unplanned pregnancy. You know, you're planning a really nice winter with your boyfriend, going, traveling, having fun, you know, drinking or whatever, partying, and suddenly you do realize you're pregnant or your girlfriend is pregnant and you can't do any of it. And again, that is not unwanted one, it's unplanned one. There is a difference, right? That is how it could play out. Or it could play out, you suddenly have a crush, you know, you have a really nice family, things are going very, very well, you love your wife or your husband, but you crush on someone and it's something you don't have any control over. And that's the moment you do realize that your family is actually in a very fragile environment. I mean, anything could happen. But definitely what happens, it's going to be very unnatural. And under unnatural, I mean that is definitely something you never thought coming forward. You never worked for it, so on and so forth. It's out of the blue, being blindsided, coming out of nowhere. And so you're gonna have that person who will try to pick up your shit together. Okay, because without that guy or a girl that it is playing the role of the Queen of Swords with the Seven of Pentacles, you are going to be broken apart. It's just you wouldn't know how to react. But lucky for you, Leo, you're going to have that faithful companion with you who is going to kind of like keep you on your feet, so to speak. And by the end of the week, you know, things are going to normalize, but you just have to face that initial crisis. And how things are going to normalize? Well, by you literally outgrowing it. Every single one of you is going to have their own way of doing it. So, but by the end of the week, hope is going to be regained. I don't know how to explain it. Some of you are going to embrace that chaotic change, others are gonna fight it back, but regardless of the path chosen, you are gonna see a light at the end of the tunnel at the end of the week. Right, so that was Leo. Now going forward, we do have Virgo. For a second. All right, first one for Virgo, that's going to be the Queen of Wands, followed by the second card of the High Priestess. Moving on next, we do have the Nine of Swords. And the final one for Virgo, that is going to be the Empress. So, let me take a sip first. When it comes to your week, Virgo, nothing to die from, right? However, that's gonna be a week that you are to realize or be made aware of, one of the two ways, that a lot more is riding on your shoulders than you have actually thought and anticipated. Therefore, the responsibility to do the right thing and to face, of course, the consequence of it is going to be sharper, is going to be more pronounced, right? It's definitely going to be heavier for what we can see here. And that is going to make you stir, which you should, by the way. So your job is going to be more active, your social life is going to be more active. It's just everything is going to be more speedy. It's the sequence of the events is going to be more rapid because you're gonna make it so. And I can see why that's a problem. It is because you, Virgo, you are tidy guys. I mean, you are working for a perfection for as long as it takes. Well, unfortunately, it cannot take that long, not that week. Okay, your decisions will, you will see a kind of like a timeline of your decisions. So in most of the cases, you wouldn't be able to kind of like work it out to perfection, which could be a problem once again. A problem mentally, in a sense of that you're always going to have it on the back of your mind. Have I done something uncalculated, right? Have I done something wrong? Well, the answer is no. So the only problem is going to be, or rather like the only negative aspect of the week is going to be on the back of your head and also in the love front as well. Because according to these cards, you may find yourself falling in love throughout this week more than you should. It's not that the other person, for example, is not going to love you, but now is not the time to be head over heels into that thing. You gotta maintain your sanity, so to speak. But your career is going to be flawless for what those cards are showing. Like I said, a lot is going to be riding on you, and it doesn't matter your position at work. You are going to be given the freedom and the liberty to make choices, and probably as way to allocate assets, like saying who is gonna undertake what task. That is just for example. This is because you are going to be recognized as the person who has the most will to succeed, and also the biggest, can I put it into words, the biggest sense for what should be done in a what way, so to speak. And going forward with that, by the end of the week, you're going to be in a position to make a plans for the distant future. These are plans that are not going to unfold and unravel in a span of a couple of weeks. These are plans that are going to unfold and unravel in a span of a few years forward. Okay, they could be personal, it could be collective as well. But long story short, if you have to take a couple of days off, like for example Friday, you gotta take off just so you can kind of like put your thoughts together, so you can make a accurate decisions about how you should move forward with your business, with your career, with your friendships or your love life. Don't shy out to take that time. It's crucial, because whatever plans you make according to these cards, they must be mature, they must be well found, they must be balanced, they must work for every single one involved in the plan or in the decision that you are going to make. That was Virgo. Now moving on, next we do have Libra. First one for Libra, that's going to be the Five of Swords. Yeah, Sandy. Well, with love, you just can't force that, right? It's either around or it isn't. Then we do have the Eight of Pentacles, followed by the Ten of Pentacles, and the final one, that's going to be the Devil. So it's a dangerous week for Libra, because you guys may involve yourself in aspects in in situations. It is not your place to be there. I don't know how to really express it, but take it that way. Whatever you try, or rather like you plan to initiate that week, according to these cards, that Eight of Pentacles being into the second position, double check it, okay? Because according to them, you are not exactly ready, and there is a hold on a second. Okay, so there are aspects of it that you haven't considered. You haven't considered some kind of a development. The things can go one way than the other, right? You're considering only the other way, but you're not considering the one way for one or another reason. So yeah, you're not ready enough, and your plan is not solid enough. It's solid but not enough, according to the card. So where that could lead you to? Well, it could nonetheless, if you do decide to go forward with your plans that week, they still are going to be a success. Maybe a resounding one as well, but the price for that success is going to be bigger than what it should be. Just saying, okay? You may have to be put to agree to bigger terms than you should, right? You may be brought to your knees in more aspects than you should. You may be made to make bigger compromises than you should, and so on and so forth. So think it that way. You want to do something, okay? You have a plan to do something. Is that thing binds you, especially to a person or organization? Is that thing binds you? If it does, in a certain way, then you should not do it this week. For example, you want to start a relationship with something. Does that relationship gonna constrain your friendships? Is it going to restrict your working hours? If it does, then that's not the week you jump into that relationship. Next week could be a different circumstances, but that week, no thank you. So this week, you Libra should maintain your independence, okay? And if you will as well, your liberty. From another standpoint, it's a great week for you to reconcile with old friendships, maybe as well exes also. They don't have to be that, for example, narcissistic ex you had, all right? You do, I bet you do have many exes. Hell, if I do have, then you do as well. If nothing else, at least you can embark on a friendship with them. But by the end of the week for you guys, there will be a lot of well woven, so to speak, circumstances for you Libra, and those circumstances will allow you to go for what you yearn. This is on a short-term scale, right? If you yearn for a vacation, the holidays, you may have that very chance to do it. If you yearn for sex, well, then I bet a person is gonna show up that's, you can be friends with benefits. If you do yearn for a break, you're also gonna have the chance to do so. So the end of the week is gonna be a great one where you get to do what you're yearning for in a short scale though, right? In a small scale, not in a very, very big one. And also the end of the week is a time where you're gonna have bigger influence than you are used to. Make sure you do use it well. And now we are approaching Scorpio. Thank you, Amelia. We do have the sun for a change. Let me change the glyph here, right? So Scorpio. So we do have the sun, followed by the Knights of Cups. Moving on next, that's going to be the Two of Cups. And the final one, that's going to be the Ace of Swords. So it's more like do before you talk kind of thing, okay? The card to the Knights of Cups is going to be Temperance. It's one of the worst, okay? It's definitely one of the worst. So what we do have here is a guy or a woman that they are willing to say anything, okay? To say anything, not do anything though, just say anything in order for them to be a part of our lives. That's one of the worst. And believe it or not, because I'm Scorpio, guys, I had my fair share of those, okay? Anyway, it's gonna feel great, okay? It's gonna feel great. It will feel like that's a oh, Shakti, it's definitely better. It's gonna feel like we finally have something to grow with, a person to grow with, because this week is all about partnerships, okay? And it does look like that we are gonna dive deeper into that partnership than we should. However, those red flags are gonna start appearing by the end of the week. And at the end of the week, we're gonna have a serious conversation with that person. Okay, that person could be someone we already know, or it could be someone brand new. That's not really the point. The point is, it is that, well, we won't be able to help it, but still, pretty much I do appeal you guys. When you are promised something, when a claim is made, you know, someone may claim that they will bring the world down in your knees, right? They may claim that they are gonna always love you, and so on and so forth. Take those claims with a grain of salt, because at least according to these cards, there is gonna be one person who is willing to say anything. It's willing to go to the extreme when it comes to their promises in order to be a part of your life. Are they gonna do it? Well, they intend to. Are they capable? Well, that's completely different story. So by the end of the week, there must be those honest and open conversations about, you know, the state of everything, how things are going to move forward, what is allowed, what is not allowed, and so on and so forth. So everybody knows what they have signed up for. And that is literally Scorpio, right? Other than that, career-wise, you can do money. In your business and into your career, that's a great week for you to make money through hobbies, through unique skills you have, or just through your career, right? It's a great week for you to do so. So yeah, and now one of you can have a free reading with me, and in order to claim it, all you gotta do is just input a question into the comments down below. And in about 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one of your questions, if there are any, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on that question. If there are none, I'm just going to move to the next 4 star signs, and after that, there is going to be another free reading giveaway, and after that is going to be the super chat reading. So should anyone decides to support the stream and the channel through super chat, you're gonna have a reading at the end. That's pretty much guaranteed. And should your super chat be $20 or above, the reading is gonna be that very same format I'm doing for the star signs, 4-card spread. I had something to say, I just forgot what. Oh yeah, we were on the TV shows, And right now I'm watching that TV show You Better Call Saul. Have you watched it, guys? I think uh it's a prequel to Breaking Bad. Definitely it's a prequel because the cartel is the same. It's literally the same actors. You can't get to it. Well, it's a nice show, but it starts taking off after the 4th season. Well, yeah, this is what I am pissed off about the show. It takes off after the 4th season, or at the 4th season. The first 3 seasons, I don't really know why I'm watching that. I mean, it keeps me on the screen, right? But it's kind of like, how am I even watching that? Yeah, it is because first 3 season there is you don't know what is going on, right? You do have that guy who is a loser literally, and he's trying to do something and you don't know what they're trying to do really, you know, and his brother who hates him, you don't know why his brother is hating him, and you do have these events that has nothing to do with one another. The only events that kind of like have some kind of a chain of custody, so to speak, or chain of sense, are the events with the retired cop that it is there. That's the only thing, you know. Yeah, it's a sequel, but also a prequel. It's kind of like a prequel. Wait, oh, a lousy week. I read a weekend and I said, oh my god, what are you talking about? The week is just starting. No, I haven't watched Westworld, but I'm gonna give it a try because I'm running out of things to watch. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Breaking Bad either as well. It's just I watched the first season and I kind of like, why I'm watching that. Okay, I noted. Uh, but Tuco, I don't know who that actor is, but the role he plays of a psycho, it's he plays it very well. It's like he's watching the antagonist with those callous eyes, you know. It's just expressionless. You don't know what he's gonna do. You're trying to talk him out of it, and you just don't know what he's gonna do, and he does the least expected thing every time. It's just hello, Corey. Welcome to the stream. All right. So Ed, your question stays. Which was about that your relationship is not really there. So I guess we're gonna check into it. All right, so in order that relationship to go forward, we do have a few problems, Ed. That is according to these cards. Those are the cards. Okay. Those are the cards. I'm not gonna tell you their guidance because that's me taking a choice for you, right? But whichever way that situation ends, based on your choices, and it should end by the end of February next year, is gonna be for good, right? It's gonna be for good, and you must take it that it is for your greater good. So what are the problems? Well, the bigger problem, or the biggest problem, it is that each one of you thinks that they are carrying on the other, right? That this relationship is hanging on because of them. That's not true. The second problem we do have, that is that it is just the, how can I put it into words? How do you call it? What is important in that relationship? It's one thing for you and it is one thing for your spouse. So and these are two different things. So you may think that, for example, loving each other is important. Your spouse thinks that that's on the second gear. Trusting each other, it's more important. You know, you may think that having fun in that relationship is the most important thing. Your spouse, it thinks differently. They think that, for example, being settled is more important, you know, and so this is a place where we don't have a correlation. And the third thing that it is a problem, it is that one of you or both of you are not sure that you both should move on forward with that relationship. And until you both are on the same page with all three of those things, things are gonna stay slow. To say the least. And like I said, you are on the clock by the end of February. For a couple of minutes, and then we're moving to the last 4 star signs, which are going to be Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and after Pisces, and then the super chat readings are going to take place. No, I'm not. All right, I am not. And how do you know about her? That woman, she was, how do you know about her? Are you a Bulgarian? Because people which are not Bulgarians, they don't know about her. See, she was talking with something. Something from beyond the grave. Okay. That explains it a little. So she was talking with something, and the thing it is that back at the days she was using words that were futuristic. Nobody knew about those words. For example, she was using words like touch screen and those kind of things at the time that people don't even have TVs. You know, nobody knew what touch screen is all about. And you just, and the thing it is that this is how you go there. You go in front of her house, right? And you are gonna see a huge crowd being gathered there. You don't do anything. You just go there and you stand. If you do want to have an audience, and she walks out of the house and she calls you by a freaking name, right? You don't sign up anywhere, right? You go there, you don't sign up anywhere, you just sit around. She comes out and calls you by your name. It's freaking weird. And yeah, without you asking anything, she tells you everything that you need to know. She doesn't tell you everything, but she tells you everything you need to know. Almost every celebrity over time came to see her. I can't name, I think well, I'm not gonna say names, but world leaders came to see her. And she was so undeniable that even the communists, because we were under communist regime back then, even the communists couldn't deny her gift, right? And gave her a permission to practice. Even they couldn't deny it. Because if you don't know, the communist regime, it denies religion, it denies psychic abilities, superpowers, etc., and it kind of banishes those kind of people. It's like Inquisition. But they couldn't deny her because it was her gift was undeniable. It's just it was real. But I am not like her. I don't speak with anything that it is from beyond the grave. And I can tell you that the dead, they do know everything. They do know everything. If you dream about the deceased person and they tell you something, it's gonna happen. No, it's not out of this world. It's within the tarot cards, right? And everybody can learn doing it. It's something you can learn. It could be out of this world if the tarot is gift from out of this world, but it's a gift to all of us, okay? Not to designated few, as some people try to present it, or at least here in Bulgaria, which this is why I don't practice here. It is because the perception of tarot, it's like it's a gift and you must be born with it, which is not true, and I don't care to explain. Hey, Lawrence, welcome to the stream. Cheers, mate. All right, starting up next, we do have Scorpio. Not Scorpio, oh my god, I already read about Scorpio, although I forgot what I said. That's another thing with me, guys. When I read, in a couple of minutes after that, I just forget about it. I don't remember what I read. So if people come to me with a follow-up questions, I request the original questions and the cards that I drew so I can kind of like familiarize with what was it. So next one, we do have Sagittarius. First card for Sagittarius, this is going to be the Five of Wands. Followed by the Four of Wands. That's gonna be such a messy week for us. And I'm saying us because I do have so much planets in there. It's like ridiculous. Oh, well, by the way, guys, for those who are doing astrology, all of my planets are pretty much cramped into Scorpio and Sagittarius. I do have one planet, which I believe it's Venus in Libra and Jupiter in Aquarius. The rest are just cramped into Scorpio and Sagittarius. After that, we do have the World, which is kind of strange. And then it is the Justice card. I could agree with that. Yes, it's not exactly a gift. It's an approach you should take. And yes, it's a language. It's a language of symbols. Literally every card. You cannot say that one card is positive or negative. Based on what you are asking about, the card kind of like takes a shape in a spirit of your question. For example, Page of Swords. Before I go to Sagittarius, I'm gonna tell you a story in between me and Pisces Moonbeam when we were not exactly so much familiar with ourselves, and she was not familiar with tarot as well. I mean, she was, looking at tarot like everybody would look at it at the start. It's just a card, has keywords, and that's that. And we had an argument because she asked me to write card of the day, and I wrote, I believe it was the Ace of Cups or something like that. She didn't like it because back then she was purely marketing, right? And she didn't like it, saying, "Oh, people don't like negativity; they don't buy negativity," and something like this. Can you not go with keywords and so on and so forth? And I countered with, all right, so let's do that example. Let's say someone comes to you for a reading and they ask you the very generic question of what does he feels toward me, because that is one of the most common question you get. And you draw the Page of Swords. Now open any book you want, see the keywords, and tell me, what does this person feels towards the other one? And she said something like, it's angry. Well, that's not a feeling really, it's a state. You are angry towards someone. So what does he or she feels? You have the Page of Swords. You don't get to say anything different. They are asking you about the feelings, the cards, and the card is answering about the feelings. What are the feelings? And the answer is misunderstood. They're feeling misunderstood, right? That's pretty much what the Page of Swords represents in that line of question. In different line of question, for example, career, it depends on the cards around. If it is just only one card, I would ask a follow-up question to be able to identify. But in career, usually means a help from the last place you have expected, or it's some kind of a different approach you do have that it is not fathomed by the rest, right? So depending on what kind of a question you do have, the card could apply in a pleasant or unpleasant way. But it is based on the scene, is based on the symbols in the cards, and also what kind of a lesson the card teaches you. There is a lot to it. There is a reason why I do study them for 3 years, non-stop, 4 to 6 hours a day. It was like taking a diploma, right? Anyway, back to Sagittarius. It's gonna be an awkward week. The thing about your week comes from these couple of cards here, guys, right? comes from these couple of cards, it is that you are never going to feel ready, right? You're never going to feel ready to jump into the endeavor. You're never going to feel ready throughout the week, that is, right? To say what you think. You are not going to feel ready to approach the person you love. It is just it's not like even making an excuses. It will feel like there is a better thing for you to do, or rather like a doing thing that is going to have more results at the end. I don't know how to say it. Exactly. Yeah. The question, it's if we have to say what contributes most for the answer, it's like 60-40, all right? 60% asked question and 40% tarot reading. And in my courses that I made here in Bulgaria, the last courses, we do had like, I don't know, a couple or 3 sessions how to frame a question, right? Because believe it or not, rather like not believe it or not, but that is the reality. The client comes and they ask you a question and they don't care about the capabilities of tarot or what they're meant for, what is their design. They want to know the answer to the question they are giving you, and 90% of the time that question is not applicable, right? It's not applicable, and you have to rephrase it in a way that you are going to give the closest answer that they can get. But back to the Sagittarius. So one more time, you're just not gonna feel ready. It's like it's not like a fear, right? I don't know how to explain it, but it is one of these moments where you can say, well, you know what, probably today is not the day, right? Probably today I can do it, but today probably is not the day. So it's like a postponing and delaying of an important deed. Well, you gotta man up, all right? You gotta man up according to these cards, and do what's worth it. It's not like even standing against your fears, but it is like getting it off your chest. And I will give you, it's not even a secret, but a part of me, I hate dealing with papers. Okay, I hate dealing with papers, and if I have to deal with papers, like going and taking some kind of an approval from the government, or changing my ID card, or so on and so forth, I do it in a very, very last minute, because I just hate doing it. Okay, and that is the kind of aspects which you will try to postpone. That's not a good thing. This week, Sagittarius, like I said, you gotta man up and just do the important stuff first, and then you can turn your attention to the things you would like to do. Why is that? Well, it is because the week is great for you to kind of like get the upper hand, especially into situations which are kind of like you are losing a grip on. They are going down south, the ship is sinking, whatever way you want to call it. And by the end of the week, thanks to your good work, not thanks to luck, chance, or however you want to call it, but thanks to your good work, you will get what you worked for. And if you worked for nothing, well, a whole lot of nothing, it is what you are gonna get. And by the end of the week, by the way, you are gonna have a pretty clear picture what are to be your responsibilities in the weeks to follow as well. What is to be expected from you, so you can get your prize, whatever that prize pretty much is. It's not a good week though, guys, to jump into something, how can I put it into words? Something demanding. I don't know how to put it into words. It's not a good week, for example, to start a long-term relationship, right? Because it's just the foundation is going to be unstable, in a sense of that many things can happen. Many things are not thought of. And that's a week where you should put more attention to the already developed undertakings rather than starting to develop a new ones. Right, that was Sagittarius. Now moving on, next we do have Capricorn. First one for Capricorn, that's going to be the High Priestess, followed by the Five of Pentacles. Moving on next, we do have the Three of Wands. And the final one for you, Capricorn, is going to be the Four of Cups. Excuse me. Short one. You're doing great for what those cards are saying, and according to this week that we have already entered into, well, we here in Europe at least, you don't have to change a damn thing about your plans or about your anticipations or about anything really. Changing it is only gonna cause problems. In fact, I don't want to scare you here, but for what those cards are showing, things are gonna start worsening up in a lot of places, right? And that is shown by the Five of Pentacles. So, bottom line is you keep up doing what you're doing and have faith in fate. Let me give you an example of that. Let's say you're single and you are sick of being single, right? And this week, someone shows attention in you, and although kind of like the dots aren't welding true with that person, you still decide to give it a go because, hey, you don't want to be single anymore. That's gonna be a mistake. If the person that shows attention, right, it is not what you like and it doesn't come even close to your understanding of a partner, don't go for it. For what those cards are showing, it is that you aren't doing anything wrong, and eventually a person who is whether soulmate or very close to a soulmate is gonna show up. You are bound to it, Capricorn, right? By the end of the week, though, you are to see opportunities to grow in already existing endeavors. For example, if you do have a family, you're going to see opportunities to grow into that family. If you do have a job, you're going to see opportunities to grow into that job. You know, if you do have friendships, same thing. It's just these are not new opportunities, but are opportunities in already existing framework of undertakings that you do already have. And the attitude you should have at that point is that you need more, right? You definitely need and should go for more. That is literally the Capricorn reading here. Right, moving on next, we do have Aquarius. First one for Aquarius, Six of Pentacles, followed by the Nine of Wands, then we do have the Hierophant, no, the Hierophant, the Hermit, sorry, so it is the Hermit, and the final one, that's going to be the Knight of Swords. So according to these cards, Aquarius, the ship had already sailed. What I mean is that the deal is pretty much sealed, and it doesn't look like that you can do a damn thing about it. Or you have the impression that you can do it, but it's just gonna postpone the results that have been already set into stone. Okay, no different than you know, that is just a little bit of a morbid example, but no different than if you if your girlfriend, for example, decided to leave you yeah, you can postpone that. Like, you can change her mind for a while, but eventually she's gonna leave you. And in that particular case, better sooner than later. If someone made their mind to be with you, you can change that. You can change their mind for now, but they will kind of try again in the future. It's how it goes. If your boss, for example, made up their mind to reassign you, same thing. I mean, you can postpone it, but it's just evading the inevitable here. Doesn't have to be over a bad thing, right? It could be, it's literally affecting almost everything. So Aquarius, um, for what the reading shows, it is that this week, no matter how things turn out for all of us guys, I'm saying us because I am rising Aquarius, we should accept it. Okay, we should accept it and make the most out of it, because we can make the most out of it. We can even turn it better than if it is better than the thing we probably wanted instead, if we don't want that and we want something different. But by the end of the week, we get to decide how to proceed, right? With the newly formed environment, so to speak. And according to these cards, whatever choice we are to make, it better be the one we want, right? It's better be the one that we feel good about it. Not exactly we want, but yes, that we feel good about it. We feel that no matter what happens after we decide to do one thing or another, we are not gonna regret it. Okay? But other than that, it's an important week, because these circumstances that I just talked about, the circumstances that we can't do anything about us, they're going to play a very substantial role for our life moving forward, and is going to shape it. They're going to shape it in a way that we will be recognized in a certain light, and that light is going to be there for at least an year. So we better embrace it rather than fight it, for we cannot fight fate, can we? And that is the Sagittarius gear reading. I'm sorry, yeah, gear, but reading. It's one of the worst weeks to start new relationships. That nine of wands, I'm sorry, into the second position. Oh my God, that's a killer right there. It pretty much means that is going to be the most uncompatible interaction we are going to have. We may not see it at the start, but the most uncompatible one, right? Just partnerships / relationships. Right, and last but not least, we do have Pisces. First one, we do have the Death card, followed by the Hermit. Then it is the Nine of Wands. And the final one, that's going to be the High Priestess. Pretty easy one, guys. So this week, you're going to have a call to get rid of the unnecessary. Okay? But what's going to be the problem, really? That you will think it's necessary, right? You will think that it is substantial. No different than you see that there is no more room for you to grow in your job, and that's your call to start looking for a new one, to start, browsing your options. And yet you will kind of like have the impression that that's gonna be a mistake. So it's like knowing that you gotta make a change, but in the same time being not exactly convinced that that should be your approach. So that's a huge predicament, okay? And what you should do in order to convince yourself, according to these cards, is try to do things differently. A little differently, all right? Not like you have to reinvent the wheel or anything, but it is just reshuffle, for example, your schedule and see how you feel about it. Hell, for example, take a day off and see how you feel not going at work or not have to deal with that work, or take a day off from your relationship, for example, if you are feeling that your relationship is going nowhere, right? And see how you feel without your boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever. And if you feel better, then you gotta change that, right? You gotta change what you feel better from, right? Not being in it anymore. So yeah, it's a week where you have to identify the unnecessary and clear it out, clean it out, so you can open up a room to be replaced with a similar thing, but now substantial and necessary, like to replace the current job with one that can allow you to grow, to replace the current relationship that it is cannot go any further than that, but to replace it with the one further down the road into the future, to replace it with the one that can offer you marriage, can offer you family, and so on and so forth. So it's an important week for you, Pisces, but you gotta be a bit, for the lack of a better word, callous when it comes to choices. All right, you cannot allow yourself to make an emotional decision based on your emotional attachment. Okay, here the decision should be, or sentimental reasons, for example. Here the decision should be in favor of growth. And if you, for example, had said, don't you want to get married to your boyfriend, and he says no right away, and that's not a person you want to move forward with. Okay, that's the cold truth from these cards. That's why it's going to be an important week, because there are going to be a lot of things dropping off your plate. Okay, but further into the future, they're going to be substituted with a similar of nature but better in spirit enterprises. And so that's Pisces. It's a good week, by the way, for you guys to start the relationships. Just go slow, right? Don't commit entirely right away. All right, so that was for Pisces. And now one of you can have a free reading with me, and in order to get one, is just inputs a question into the comments down below. And in about 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one of your questions, and I'm going to perform a professional reading on it. But again, Michelle, the death card may not mean ending. It means ending of a stage, of a chapter, right? If that person wants to grow forward with you, then that's totally fine. I mean, you can move forward, but it's just the death signifies the things cannot be anymore as they are. Either they need to progress on the next level, or they need to be replaced. You're welcome, Pisces Moonbeam. Sam, what do you need? What do you want to know about your soulmate that you know exists? That is for the super chat I'm asking. Well, that's great, Michelle. 1.5 minutes, guys, to ask a question if you do have one. If not, I'm just going to move to the super chat readings. Yeah, it is 5 a.m. here as well. See you, Ed. Have a great one. By the way, I missed you, Chandra. Thank you for your $4.99. Thank you. I missed you to put you into the list. I don't know if I acknowledged the super chat you gave. Now this is corrected. Right. Back to the super chat. Jasmine, Mattia, Anna, and Rocky. Your readings are gonna be at the very end. Okay. Have a little bit of a patience with that. Have you met your soulmate already? We have the full card. No, you haven't. Not yet, but you are about to. Right? You're not gonna be soulmateless for the rest of your life. Right, Liz. Your week. We do have those couple of cards. Some people may say that your week is gonna be useless, okay? Because here what's gonna happen with you, Liz, there are gonna be quite a few activities and events that you are gonna love being a part of. But at least for the week itself, they're not gonna yield any tangible results, right? And the only reward that you're going to have from those activities is that you feel good being a part of them. And that literally for you is going to be enough. Just be prepared, for example, from your family to face a criticism that you are wasting your time, or from your boss, you know, or from your friends, maybe also from the person that if you are in a relationship with as well. That is something important. Other than that, from those activities, you are going to start changing your perception on the world in general. And that activity could be that you may start dating with someone, and your friends doesn't like the person you are dating with, and they're not supporting you into what you are doing. That's literally how the week is gonna run for you. Chandra, we do have this is your primary card with that one. So this is gonna be a busy week for you, Chandra. I cannot say new ventures, but more complicated ventures. It is like taking on a challenge, you know what I mean? A challenging project or a challenging situation that is not going to go without its problems. But what those cards are showing here, Chandra, it is that you are fully competent, equipped, and skilled to tackle the issues that are to arise. but your how can I put it into words, your attitude throughout the week, it is that you are already having solid foundations. You already are having a well-established patterns, and now it's time to put that background into motion and to simply go for more. Now these cards could speak for a new service that you can present, that it is something you know, I cannot say off the chart, but it is kind of like bigger than what you are used to present up until this point. You know, go for a more unaccessible, you know, person to date with, and so on and so forth. You gotta up your game. That should be your attitude throughout the week, because you can and you should. And yeah, it's not gonna go without any issues, but that's a part of the endeavor itself, and you can handle all of the issues that you are going to face. Veronica, your week, it's more of a cry than a prediction. So that's what we have for you, Veronica. Seven of Swords with the Nine of Swords and the Knights of Cups. So what those cards are showing, it is that this week you are to be torn apart, all right? From one side, you are gonna be exhausted fighting for the agendas of others. You are going to be exhausted making other people wealthier while you take the scraps, right? You are going to be exhausted listening to someone else's drama while nobody cares about your drama, right? And also exhausted literally being played over. So that's going to be from one side. From the other is going to be what people are going to say if you don't do that. Okay? And you do pretty much have a choice to make here. Do things for yourself and face the consequences, or play by what you are expected to do. I don't know how to put it, and just do the same thing all over again all the time. Those cards are advising you this time around to do something for yourself, okay? And demand what you have been owed, whether respect, whether payment, right? Whether privacy, whatever the case. But you must demand it, otherwise nobody is going to give it to you. That's the point of the reading. You wanna do something for yourself. Well, you gotta make those around you aware that from now on you will do things for yourself first and foremost, rather than for them, because people around you, for what those cards are showing, at least for the week, are expecting you to put them first and you second. Hell, you last, if that's possible. And you shouldn't do that by a long shot, that is. And it is kind of scary. I mean, this fear that, you know, you are going to be abandoned is going to be there. But you should not allow, according to these cards, that fear to dictate your happiness. Because that's not happiness, right? It's kind of like it's the victim's the victim's perk, so to speak. A victim feels good when it pleases the tormentor. That's not what you want to do. Nicole, your week, we do have that card, the Ace of Wands, with the Knights of Wands, and the Seven of Cups here. So Nicole, your week is going to be pretty interesting. There are going to be quite a few things that are going to pop up here and there that you will find worthy for your attention, okay? Well, there is not the thing. The thing it is that they all are going to be real, even if they don't look like that way. and you can handle every single one of them, maybe not at its bulk, right? But if you can kind of like manage your time correctly, you definitely can handle every single one of them. Now, they all are going to be gaining 4. It may come to that you got to choose which gains to get instead of others, but nonetheless, they all are going to be gaining 4. Now, your guidance from those cards, Nicole, it is that once you decide to, or once you do involve yourself with one of those enterprises, you cannot pull back. You should have that determination to get to the very end. This isn't exploring, this isn't browsing, this is you being committed. And if you don't have the attitude to commit right away, then probably you should pass. That is the guidance. Other than the gaining 4 aspect of the enterprises ahead of you throughout the week, they are also going to allow you to unfold the potentials that up until this point you never needed, and that's why they are slumbered. So you are going to be simply better after that week with a better developed skills. Is it good of dating? Yeah, it is. Just don't put a huge hopes into how things are going to turn out. Just go with the flow, right? And for new jobs, be prepared to face a lot of creative chaos around. All right, so let's see when the love life of Michelle is going to improve now. Hello, the guided gem. Welcome to the stream. I can tell you when, Michelle, if it is within the time frame of 1 year, okay? Well, that's the thing. I'm not gonna show the cards though, because I don't want disputes. By the end of July next year, you're gonna definitely meet someone that is gonna feel like a soulmate, but it isn't. It's gonna be attraction from a first sight. You do kind of like meet your eyes, and you're gonna feel immediately attracted to one another, and it's gonna feel like soulmates, but pretty much it isn't, right? Things can work out in between you two, don't get me wrong. Just because it's not your soulmate, that doesn't mean that you cannot live happily ever after. It's just it's not gonna be your soulmate. So, goes with that, according to these cards, the very least, within the next year, you're not gonna meet a soulmate of yours. That is what I can tell you about that question. All right, next, Jasmine. Let's see how your week is going to be. Have a great one, Michelle. All right, Jasmine. Those are your cards. We do have the Moon with the Nine of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Magician. So this week is going to be strange. Okay. There are going to be strange circumstances that you wouldn't be able to make out what is making them, all right? What is provoking those circumstances to happen. It will feel like out of nowhere. And because of the lack of predictability into your week, you will feel rather very uncertain, for example, about your job, for example, about your friendships, love life, if you do have any, all of those things. And well, uncertain is not exactly the word. It's more like I said, a strange. And also worried for that things you care about are gonna fall apart. And this is going to pretty much make you be extra attentive, so to speak, to those things, which doesn't necessarily is a bad thing, but is going to be a bit of an overkill. So I know it's going to be difficult and hard. It's easier said than done. But according to the cards, you should take it easy, okay? And you should have the mindset that if it is supposed to work, it's going to work out no matter what. If it doesn't, it's not going to work out no matter what. And take it easy, and kind of like indulge yourself with the aspects of your life that you find joy with, okay? It's that's very, very important. Your emotional stability, feeling uh, good, so to speak, is from the most importance throughout the week. Now, by the end of the week, Jasmine, things are gonna normalize, and you definitely gonna know what you gotta do, what you have to do, and where the things is coming from, why those circumstances that put you in a spot which you are feeling worried about your current estates is there, and should it be a problematic one, you, like I said, you will know what you need to do about it and how to do it, and you are simply gonna do it. Also, by the end of the week, if you do have something to say, you will have your chance to say it, and it's going to be accepted, or rather like seen exactly for what it is. All right, so you're not going to be misinterpreted as well. And all that is going to happen while you do maintain your personal sovereignty. Now, if you happen to kind of like get entangled with a person, for most likely kind of like, or rather like most pronouncedly into dating stage, and you see that person acting awkwardly, that isn't because they don't like you, but it's going to be because they don't know what to make of you in a sense of who you really are. But by the end of the week, you will kind of like be able to present yourself as who you are, and they're going to like it. And from there, the strangeness is going to disappear. The point is here, Jasmine, is that throughout the week, just because things are strange doesn't mean that they are wrong. And you should believe more into, or put more trust into that the universe has a plan for you, and that is a part of the plan, rather than believing into the doom and gloom. Luna, welcome to the stream. All right, next one, Mattia. Let's check on how your week is gonna be. Oh, Jasmine, and if something happens to you throughout the week, like a proposal, for example, any kind of event, it was meant to be, right? It was unavoidable. Or it's gonna be unavoidable, and it's gonna be because it's supposed to be. All right, Mattia. Those are your cards. The World. Followed by the Seven of Wands. Moving on, next we do have the Emperor. And the final one, that's gonna be the Lovers. I don't know if you're working this week, Mattia, but if you happen to work, you can expect a lot of business, right? A lot of business to come your way. So much so that at some point it's not like you're gonna feel overwhelmed, but it's gonna feel like that business is kind of like pays the month, right? Or even pays the year. It's so good about a business. It's so good about business that there are gonna be people who are simply gonna find themselves being jealous, right? Being jealous about you, being jealous about your work, jealous about your plans, and some of them may even think of jeopardizing that. You definitely gonna be aware whom these people are, and you have your chance to pretty much intercept or sap their attempts. In terms of personal life, like relationships, I can't say that it is a great week. It's not a bad one by far, but it's deprived from. It's more about managing than enjoying, if you know what I mean. It's more about managing your marriage, managing your relationship, your family. Structuring it, maintaining control, and so on and so forth. Than having a good time and just enjoying, the moment. For what we have here. But whichever the case, by the end of the week, you are gonna, Mattia, find yourself very harmonious. That is to say the least, that you are to accomplish your targets throughout the week, and that is literally to say the least. On top of that, a lot of concerns that you may have about your business and about your personal life are going to be literally solved. If you cannot solve them yourself, they are going to be solved on their own accord. And by the end of the week, you're going to have the luxury to choose what you want to do moving forward. Are you going to stick with what everybody expects you to do, or are you going to stick with what you want to do? Whichever way you go forward, it's going to work for you. It's a great week. And especially in terms of your business, one of the business that you are going to get is going to be a big one. I suggest you don't miss it. Okay, it's going to be a huge one. So this reading is more oriented about your career and about your business rather than your family. In fact, very little is about to happen in your family, and whatever happen is going to be a good thing. Anna, you're next. All right, Anna. Those are your cards. We have the Death card, first one, followed by the Eight of Pentacles. Moving on next, we do have the Tower. And the final one for you, Anna, this is going to be the Knight of Wands. So first and foremost, I would like to say, Anna, that's not a good week for you dating, right? It's literally not a good week. This is because you may fall for the wrong guy, right? For what those cards are showing. Other than that, is going to be an uphill battle, so to speak. But once you do climb your mountain and you survey the vista, you will realize that it was all worth it. So what is going to be the uphill battle? Well, entering into the week, quickly you will kind of see that your plans are not applicable. It is simply, you know, they are for nothing. That is because there are going to be, can I put it into words, aspects that are whether outdated or they're simply wrong. They do not apply at all. And that is going to throw your plans out of the window, whether plans for you having a day off or whether plans for you making business or whatever the case, right? It's gonna throw them off the it's gonna throw them out of the window, but it will allow you to make new plans, and the new plans are gonna be far better than the last ones. And when you are done with your new version of what you should do and how you should do it, whom to associate with, and so on and so forth, and you look back to the old ones which were thrown out of the window, you would think to yourself, how could I even consider all that I was about to do? Thank God things did not work out back then. Okay. So this is a necessary transformation of your vision, you know, of your sight, of your targets, if you will. Okay. And it's going to be a long-term one, because by the end of the week, once the new targets or the new plans or the new anticipations are ready, still manifesting them is going to be undiscovered shores, if I may say it that way. And you are then going to start exploring your options available, how you can accomplish what you want to accomplish the way you want to accomplish it. But for now, just go forward. You are pretty much going to be made aware of what is not going to work out at all, and you just have to swiftly scrap it down, right? Leave it behind and try to make a new one out of it. Okay, don't hesitate to burn bridges, because some of the bridges, they just have so big holes into it that you can never cross. That's literally your reading. Take it that way, Anna. Whatever you plan throughout the week, whether you haven't planned it correctly or you're not ready for that thing. And finally, we do have Rocky. Well, in that we do have something in common, Anna. All right, Rocky. Aside from one thing, your week is gonna be really good, and that thing is this person or organization. So what we do have here, Rocky, is empty promises, okay, that you are to be addressed with. They don't have to be from a romantic nature. That could be an empty promise for a job, an empty promise for a help, an empty promise for raise, an empty promise for promotion, right? So whatever promises had been made to you, whatever offers comes your way, okay, know that even if they come true, the other person has way more to gain than you do, right? These are not sincere. These are not meant to help you, right? They are meant to take away, even if it doesn't look like that way. So whenever you get a opportunity in front of you, especially if it is a proposal, you should give it a second thought, all right? You should not accept it right away, but not just only think about it, but also talk about it with faithful companions that you do have, people that can tell you objectively, is that thing good or is it not good? And that is well shown here with the Four of Swords that we do have. So that week, Rocky, you should be rather, I can't say really slow, not careful, but not headstrong as well, taking on your chances, because there are going to be fair share of chances that you're going to have. This is what we do have here. It is the Ace of Wands, and that shows that your week is going to be pretty much dappled with gaining for opportunities. Well, it could be a job offer, Rocky. It could be a job. You may have a job offer, right? It doesn't have to be a job offer. But if, for example, you get a job offer and the company is telling you, you know, these things that are way too good to be true, that, you know, you're going to start making a lot of money in no time and so on and so forth. And it kind of feels almost desperate that they do want you to take the place. Know that there is something catchy in it. And like I said, this is meant to take away from you, but in a way that you're not gonna even notice, right? So at the end of the day, it could be a win for you, but you just have to give a really, really good thought before you take it. Like I said, your week is going to be dappled with opportunity, and only one of opportunities and enterprises which are going to be gaining for, only one of them is going to be that one. All right, where actually it's meant to take away from you even if you don't know it, right? Or you are okay with it. So yeah, it could be, like I said, it could be a job offer, or it could be a person to date, new friendships as well. Well, friendships, it's a bit unlikely because these new opportunities are going to be you growing, right? In a sense of, how can I put it into words? Developing skills, knowledge, and so on and so forth. So friendships a bit unlikely, but still it's on the table. But bottom line is that based on these opportunities this week, you're going to start looking at the world in a different way. And we can see that with the Page of Cups, because by the end of the weeks, you're going to start reassessing your positions. You're going to start reassessing your targets, and it may play out in that way. All right, this week you may decide you want to study something, right? You may decide you want to study astrology, for example, or numerology, or some kind of a practice. You may decide you want to sign up for yoga classes, and you may see that that is something you are really hanging on to. All right, that is something that you get the hang of very quickly, you're very good at. And you may say by the end of the week, you know, why should I look myself for a job when I can become really good at this and start practicing it, okay, for a living? That is something that happened to me, right? But why should not happen to you? But the thing about the page of with the Ace of Wands, it is that you grow through it, and if it is a job, it's not going to be the job that you are going to do the same thing every single day for the rest of your life, all right? It's going to be a job of growth that presents you with an opportunity to climb the ladder of the hierarchy, okay? But again, it could be literally almost anything. It could be also a hobby that you would want to develop that can pay the bills later on down the road. But long story short, by the end of the week, you will seriously going to consider that thing being a irreplaceable part of your life. And so with that said, this is going to conclude the live stream today. Thank you all for attending, sticking around. Leave a like to help the channel as well. It doesn't cost you anything, but it is a huge help of the channel. Thank you as well so much for all of you who donated through Super Chat and as well through PayPal. Thank you for your generosity. And we're going to see each other next time. Until then, bye.